Cinder! Hello! Hey! That's a good dog! Hey everybody! Welcome to No Ordinary Path. I'm John, and this is Cinder, and today we're going to talk a little bit about electricity. And Wendy is a 30 amp, but can we run her on a 20 amp circuit? Can we run her on a 50? Let's find out. Okay, Smooch. 20 amp. Basically like a standard looking regular plug. When we were in York, Pennsylvania, this park was great. Super cheap and just friendly. We had to learn what it was like to plug a 30 amp circuit into this 20 amp and how we could run things. And what that meant for us too is we can plug in at home. If we're mooch docking and we're at my parents' house, I know that I can plug in there now and still run 90% of the things here in Windy, including the AC if I needed to. So learning how to do that was hugely beneficial for us as a family. We had to make sure we had an adapter. They're called dog bones, for those of you that aren't familiar with that. So we got a dog bone adapter from a 30 amp down to a 120 plug. I also like to take my little surge protector and hook that to the end of it too, just to make sure that the receptacle and everything's working right and that there's no surge issues. Windy is a 30 amp setup. We have one AC, I've got refrigerators, I've got the heater, we've got two TVs in here, the lights. There are some things that we had to do that we would not have done had we been hooked into a full 30 amp circuit. You can run the AC hooked into this.
That feels so good.
But I can't run the refrigerator and the water heater on electric if I'm going to be running the AC. I have to switch the refrigerator over to run off the propane. I also need to run the water heater off of the propane. You really have to be mindful of what you're using as far as electricity goes. One of the ways that we got around that after reading some things on forums and stuff, taking advice from other campers, and even the staff at this park, was to get a small voltmeter that just plugs in and gives you an idea. Yes, I know these are not super accurate. I use it to monitor trends. I'm a nurse. We like trends in people. We monitor the trends of things. So I monitor the trends of the electricity. This monitor, and we'll show it to you here, has a readout, and it'll say like 120, right? And I run the AC and it'll drop it down to like 118. It may drop it down to 114 when it first starts, because an AC unit, when you first start it, is when it uses the most power. And then once that compressor gets going, it actually tapers off a little bit. Now I can have that going and maybe run a television or something, and it'll drop down a little bit lower and a little bit lower. And the biggest concern of why we did this and made sure we had that is because if it drops too low, like I mentioned, the AC will run, but it will start to burn out the motor if it does not have enough power. All right, let's talk about some of the dangerous things. When you have a 30 amp plug, you can go down to 20. You cannot go up to 50. There are people that will tell you that this can be done. When we went to Meadows Park, they did not have any meters set up with 30 amps. So their electrician came down with a 50 amp and said, oh yeah, we'll run this in, it'll be fine. I've got an adapter, you guys will be fine, don't worry about it. I do this all the time. I've got my rig here set up the same way. We haven't been doing it that long, so we are still new at it. And I just was like, okay, I guess this guy knows what he's talking about. He's the electrician, so I let him do it. Our plug got fried a little bit. We even took it up to him at the end and complained about it, and just to see what they had to say about it. And basically the guy got super offensive and wouldn't even talk to me. If you have a 30 amp, you do not go up to a 50. You can take a 50 and you can go down to 30. And then you can go down even farther to a 20 amp, even with a 50. Going down is okay. It just means that you can't run as much stuff in your rig. So when we do have a 30 amp connection, it is really nice. I will say that. It is really nice. We can still run everything when we're on a 20. But I can run everything on a 30 and not have to use the propane features. That's what I like. Still leave the voltmeter plugged in so we can watch to see what it does. On a 30 amp connection, it doesn't drop that much. One of the easiest ways, if you don't have a voltmeter, or if you're maybe waiting on yours to come in from Amazon, if you are running something with a heating element, it's definitely going to pull lots of electricity. So just keep those things in mind. That's an easy way of kind of like, okay, well, I can't have like 4 of these things going. I can maybe do 2, maybe just do 1 if I want to play it safe. Cinders. Do you want to tell the people thank you for watching No Ordinary Path? And you're just going to snuggle more. Hopefully these tips and these things that we're talking about in terms of the electrical stuff is going to be useful for you. Let me know if you've got questions. Maybe we have answers. If not, I might know where to find them. So thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed the video.